There are things you can say to a woman that make her fall for you. And then there are words that completely kill her attraction, instantly. You might think you're being honest, open, or even romantic. But in reality, you're unknowingly pushing her away, sometimes for good. In today's video, we're diving straight into the things you should never tell a woman, especially if you care about how she sees you as a man. Welcome back to Man of Substance, and today's topic is a game changer, because a lot of guys mess this up. Not because they're weak, but because they were taught wrong. Society tells you to open up, share your feelings, and tell her everything. But let me be blunt with you. Not everything that sounds healthy actually works when it comes to attraction. We're not here to sugarcoat the truth. You need to understand that women are attracted to strength, presence, and a man's sense of control, not to excessive vulnerability, desperation, or emotional dumping. Harsh, maybe, but necessary. Because if you've ever said something to a woman and noticed her energy change, her replies dry up, or she suddenly starts pulling away, chances are you broke one of the unwritten rules we're about to talk about. This video will teach you what not to say if you want to maintain a woman's respect and desire. We're not just talking about awkward lines. We're talking about beliefs and phrases that destroy your masculine frame without you even knowing it. So stay locked in, because what you're about to hear might challenge what you've been told your whole life. But it'll also give you the upper hand, the kind most men never realize they lost. 1. I can't live without you. Saying I can't live without you might sound romantic in movies, but in real life, it's one of the biggest turn-offs you can throw at a woman. You're basically telling her she's the center of your world, and that's a dangerous place to be in as a man. Why? Because attraction dies the moment she feels like she owns you. Women are drawn to men who have a mission, a purpose, and a life with or without them. The second she senses that your emotional survival depends on her presence, she stops respecting you. And respect is the foundation of desire. You may think you're expressing deep love or loyalty, but to her, it sounds like you've made her your oxygen. And no woman wants to feel that kind of pressure. It puts her in control of your emotional state, and over time, she starts to lose interest. Not because she's cruel, but because she no longer sees you as strong. Let's be clear. Being emotionally connected is not the problem, but being emotionally dependent, that's what kills the vibe. When a man tells a woman he can't live without her, he's handing over all his power. It screams neediness, and that's never attractive. Imagine this. A guy just got out of a rough patch with his girl. She pulls away, and instead of holding his frame, he sends her a long message saying, "You're everything to me. I don't know what I'll do without you. I can't live without you." Now, what do you think she feels reading that? Pressure, guilt, maybe even annoyance. But she doesn't feel attraction. Because instead of being drawn to a grounded man who can handle the ups and downs, she now sees someone emotionally fragile and possibly unstable. A man of substance doesn't place his entire identity in a woman. He enjoys her presence, he values the connection, but his life moves forward regardless. And that's the energy women crave deep down, even if they never say it out loud. Here's the truth. Women want to join your life, not become your life. The moment you shift from desire to dependence, the polarity that creates attraction disappears. So never say, "I can't live without you." Instead, show her that your life is full, with or without her. That's how you keep her curious, respectful, and attracted. 2. You're out of my league. Telling a woman, "You're out of my league," might seem like a compliment. You probably think you're showing admiration or being humble. But here's the problem. You're actually lowering your value right in front of her. When a man says this, what he's really communicating is, "I don't believe I'm good enough for you." And once you plant that seed, don't be surprised if she starts believing it too. Women are incredibly intuitive. They pick up on subtle cues, and when a man sees himself as beneath her, she starts to feel it. And that changes how she views him, whether she admits it or not. Women want a man who sees himself as high value, not arrogant, not fake, but secure, confident. A man who knows he brings something to the table. When you say you're out of my league, you're giving away all the power. You're telling her you've already put her on a pedestal, and that's where attraction begins to die. Think about it. When you walk into a room, do you look at the most attractive woman and immediately assume she's better than you? Or do you recognize that she may be beautiful, but you've got your own strengths, your discipline, your mindset, your ambition, your character? Too many guys walk around thinking they need to win a woman who's above them, instead of realizing she's supposed to qualify herself to be part of your life too. That's what real masculine energy looks like. Not chasing, not begging, not proving, but standing tall and letting her feel your presence. And the truth is, most women are tired of guys who put them on a pedestal. It puts pressure on them to be perfect. It kills the playful, fun energy. And it often makes them feel like they're being worshipped instead of connected with. That's not attractive. That's exhausting. If you keep telling a woman she's out of your league, she'll eventually believe you. And once she sees you as beneath her, there's no coming back from that. The best relationships happen when both people feel like they're with someone of equal value, someone they respect, admire, and grow with. So don't say it. Don't even think it. Carry yourself like a man who belongs, because you do. Attraction isn't about looks or money alone. It's about energy. It's about presence. If you see yourself as a man of value, so will she. 3. I'll do anything for you. It sounds sweet, right? Like something a loyal man would say. But let's break it down. When you tell a woman, I'll do anything for you, what you're really saying is, I'll abandon my standards, my boundaries, and my self-respect just to keep you around. And trust me, that doesn't build attraction. It kills it. Men are supposed to lead with purpose and direction. When you start molding yourself into whatever she wants, just to please her or avoid conflict, you stop being the man she was originally drawn to. Women may say they want a guy who's always there or willing to do anything, but in reality, they want a man who stands for something, a man with a backbone. Now, does that mean you shouldn't do thoughtful things for her? Of course not. But there's a massive difference between being kind and being a doormat. A lot of guys confuse love with sacrifice. They think that proving their loyalty means putting her needs above theirs every time. That's not attractive. That's needy. When you make a woman the center of your world and show her you'll do anything just to keep her happy, she starts testing you. Not to hurt you, but to see if there's any part of you she can actually respect. And if she finds out you'll bend every time she pushes, she'll stop feeling that natural pull toward you. Here's something a lot of men forget. Women are attracted to challenge, to mystery, to strength. When a man says, I'll do anything for you, he removes all challenge. He makes it too easy. He signals that his only goal is to be accepted, and that desperation shows, even if you're trying to hide it behind sweet words. We've all been there. You meet a woman, you're into her, and you just want to show her how serious you are. You think being overly available will make her feel secure. But what it actually does is eliminate all the tension, all the edge, all the masculine energy that makes her excited to be around you in the first place. Real respect comes when a woman knows you're willing to walk away if you're not being valued. Not because you're cold or distant, but because you have self-respect. You're not afraid to give, but you're not giving up your identity in the process. So no, don't say, I'll do anything for you. Be a man who gives with strength, not out of fear, because when you keep your standards, she sees your worth, and that's when real attraction grows. 4. Please don't leave me. Saying, please don't leave me, might come from a place of fear, pain, or love. But no matter where it comes from, it's one of the most unattractive things a man can say in a relationship. Because when those words come out, you're no longer leading the dynamic, you're surrendering to it. Let's be honest. Most guys who say this feel like they're about to lose something they can't replace, and I get it. Losing a woman you care about hurts. But when you beg her to stay, you strip yourself of your power. You're no longer the grounded, centered man she was once drawn to. You become the guy trying to hold on to something that's already slipping away, and she can feel it. The moment a woman senses that you need her more than she needs you, the balance shifts. She stops feeling that magnetic pull toward your presence and starts feeling like she's doing you a favor by sticking around. And nothing dries up attraction faster than obligation. You may think pleading will show her how much she means to you. But what it really shows is that you don't believe you can stand strong on your own. It tells her that your sense of worth, your peace, your identity, all of it is tied to her decision. And that's heavy. That's pressure. That's unattractive. Women want to be with a man who chooses them, not one who needs them to survive emotionally. When you say, "Please don't leave me," it reveals fear, not confidence. It shows panic, not presence. And most importantly, it sends the message that you're not in control of your own emotional state. Let's be real. If she's thinking of leaving, the answer isn't to beg her to stay. The answer is to stand firm in your value, show calm composure, and give her the freedom to decide. That silence, that strength, that's what makes her second guess walking away. Not desperation, not emotional begging, not fear-driven words. Every man will face moments of emotional vulnerability. But how you handle those moments separates the average guy from a man of substance. Don't chase someone who's halfway out the door. Let your energy say, "If you stay, you stay. If you go, I'll be fine." That's confidence. That's leadership. That's power. So no, never say, "Please don't leave me." Let your strength speak louder than your words, because the man who doesn't chase is the man she starts chasing again. 5. I don't have anyone else. Telling a woman, "I don't have anyone else," might sound honest and sincere, but it reveals something most men don't even realize. It shows that you're operating from a place of scarcity, and women can feel that energy instantly. Now, let's be clear. There's nothing wrong with being loyal. There's nothing wrong with wanting one woman. But when you say this, especially during emotional conversations or moments of tension, you're not showing loyalty. You're showing weakness. You're signaling that you have no other options, and that she is your only shot at love, attention, or companionship. And here's the truth. When a woman knows you have no one else, not even the potential to attract someone else, her level of respect for you starts to drop. Not because she's heartless, but because deep down, women want to know they're with a man who is desired, not just available. A man with options carries himself differently. He doesn't act desperate. He doesn't overthink every text. He doesn't beg for validation. And you don't need to actually be dating other women to have that energy. It's all in how you see yourself. Do you walk through life as a man who could attract someone else if he wanted to? Or do you operate like she's your last chance? Let me paint a picture. A guy starts seeing a woman. Things are going well for a few weeks, but then she starts pulling back. Instead of pulling back himself or staying centered, he leans in and says something like, "I've never connected with anyone else like this. I don't have anyone else. I don't want anyone else." What he thinks he's doing is showing commitment. What she hears is, "You're all I have." And suddenly, the attraction drops. Not because she doesn't like him, but because that energy of lack, that feeling that he's holding on too tightly, kills the tension that keeps the spark alive. Look, relationships thrive on balance. A man who is emotionally grounded and self-sufficient brings more to the table. When you carry yourself like you have options, it doesn't mean you're being a player. It means you're not emotionally clinging to someone to feel whole. So never tell a woman, "I don't have anyone else." Even if it's true, let your actions reflect that you're with her by choice, not because you need her to fill a void. That's the kind of energy women are drawn to. The energy of a man who is wanted, not needy. 6. Tell me what to do. There's something you need to understand. Women are not looking for a man they have to guide through every decision. When you say, "Tell me what to do," you're essentially putting her in the driver's seat of your life. And that's not an attractive place to be. This phrase may seem like you're being respectful or trying to make her feel like you value her opinion. But here's the reality. Women want to be with men who lead. They want someone who knows where he's going, who makes decisions with confidence, and who handles challenges without needing constant direction. When you ask a woman what to do, you're not showing respect for her intelligence or feelings. You're showing insecurity. It's as if you're handing over control and saying, "I don't have the answers. You figure it out for me." No woman wants to carry the emotional weight of making all the calls, whether it's about your relationship, your career, or how you're spending your time. The foundation of attraction is built on respect, and part of that respect is knowing you're capable of making decisions on your own. Think about it. When you take a back seat and ask for guidance, you're signaling that you can't handle life's challenges alone. And while it's fine to ask for advice or input from time to time, constantly asking her to tell you what to do makes her feel like she's in charge of your emotional state. It shifts the dynamic, and that's not a role women want to play. What happens when you constantly need her to tell you what to do is that you lose your edge. Attraction thrives on the challenge, the mystery, and the emotional space that you create by being a man who's grounded in his own decisions. When you hand that power over, it erases the mystery. It becomes clear that you're uncertain about who you are and what you want. Real leadership is about trust, trusting your own judgment, standing firm in your beliefs, and navigating life with clarity. When you're sure of yourself, it doesn't matter whether she agrees or disagrees with your decisions. The attraction remains because she respects your ability to stand on your own. It's not about being stubborn or refusing to listen to her. It's about maintaining your own sense of direction and purpose. So never say, "Tell me what to do." Instead, be the man who makes decisions confidently. Take responsibility for your life, your actions, and your future. Show her that you're someone who doesn't need constant guidance to feel like you're on the right path. That's the kind of man who commands respect and keeps the attraction alive. 7. I'm not good enough for you. Let me be clear about something. If you ever catch yourself saying, "I'm not good enough for you," you need to wake up. This is one of the most destructive things a man can say, not just to a woman, but to himself. When you say, "I'm not good enough for you," you're essentially telling the world that you've already written yourself off. You've accepted the idea that you're somehow inferior, that you don't deserve her, and that you're constantly playing catch-up in a game you're already losing. And I'm telling you, that mindset is killing your attraction and your potential for growth. What's happening here is simple. You're letting fear dictate your actions. Instead of standing tall, owning your value, and showing up as the best version of yourself, you're putting her on a pedestal. You're saying, "She's better than me," and in doing so, you've completely undermined your own worth. Here's the problem with this. You're not just hurting your chances with her, you're damaging your own sense of self-worth. When you tell her you're not good enough for her, you're telling yourself the same thing. You're reinforcing the idea that you're less than, that you're not worthy of respect, love, or admiration. And let me tell you, no woman is attracted to a man who doesn't believe in his own value. Why would she be? If you've ever felt like you're not good enough for someone, it's time to do a gut check. This isn't about comparing yourself to her or anyone else. It's about stepping into your own power and recognizing that you bring something valuable to the table. Every man has strengths, whether it's his drive, his character, his ambition, or his perspective on life. But when you start looking down on yourself, you're cutting off your own potential. You're refusing to grow. The truth is, the world doesn't owe you anything. You're not entitled to her attention, love, or admiration. But you are entitled to respect yourself and take pride in who you are. And when you do that, when you stop comparing yourself to others and start owning your own worth, that's when things start to change. So, if you've been walking around with the mindset that you're not good enough, it's time to flip that script. It's time to stop being the victim of your own insecurities and start showing up as the man you're meant to be. Stop looking for external validation to feel good about yourself. Instead, build yourself up from the inside out. Focus on your goals, your passions, your growth. When you do that, you'll realize something powerful. You are good enough. And once you believe that, she will believe it too. But it all starts with you. Alright, if you're the type of man who feels the need to constantly beg for validation, put her on a pedestal, or tell her you're not good enough, you're not ready for a real relationship. And honestly, if you're doing these things, you're never going to get the kind of respect and attraction you want from a woman. You'll only be stuck in a cycle of desperation and uncertainty. I know that sounds harsh, but I'm saying it because someone needs to wake you up. The truth is, if you don't respect yourself, no one else will. Attraction isn't about how much you give or how much you beg. It's about how you show up, how you lead, and how much you value your own worth. Now, I want to hear from you. I know many of you have gone through similar experiences, so drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Have you ever caught yourself saying something like this to a woman? What was the result? I'm here to connect with you, learn from your experiences, and offer any advice I can. Let's talk about it. Your stories matter, and I'll personally be reaching out to those who engage. Don't forget to subscribe for more, and remember, a man who knows his value is unstoppable.